Hi everyone, welcome to another edition of Insightful Moments. My name is Jare Tiamiyu. Today we'll be looking into the executive order that was recently declared illegal by the Supreme Court of Nigeria. And also, what are the implications? We remember that last year, Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria went on strike for more than 3 months while they were actually protesting judicial financial autonomy for the judicial workers. And then if we now look at it, now, Federal President Muhammadu Buhari, gave executive order to that effect. But the Supreme Court is coming out to say, no, you don't have the jurisdiction to do that. You have actually stepped beyond your boundary. And then we now look at it. Are we between the moral and then legal trap? Or what is really happening? And my guest today is already in the studio. And then we'll be discussing with him. And that is Chief Barrister Matthew Omolade. Omolade is a lawyer, a lecturer, and also a politician. We'll be discussing this matter together. Let me join him on the other side and we start the discussion proper. Yeah, I come back from that very short break. My guest here is here. I'm here now with him. And my guest is Barrister Chief Matthew Omolade. Sir, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, viewers at home.
Yeah, he's a regular face on this show, and we would like to talk about the issues around the Executive Order 10 that the Supreme Court recently declared illegal and unconstitutional. Can you shed more light on that judgment? How did the judgment come to you?
Well, I was not surprised when the Supreme Court delivered that judgment, because the idea of Executive Order 10 that the President of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, did in 2010 was not in tandem with the provision of Section 6 of the 1990 Constitution as amended. You see, Nigeria is operating a federal system of government in which the governmental roles of the government is divided among the 3 levels of government. I mean the federal, the states, and the local governments. And the Constitution specifies the role of each levels of government. For example, if you take a critical look at the provision of that Section 6 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, who talks about the judiciary, the formation of judiciary, and the courts, and where those courts will be. You see that we have federal courts that begins from the apex court in Nigeria, which is Supreme Court. Appeal Court is a federal court. We have other federal courts too, the Sharia Court and some other courts under the federal. But if you come to the states, every state has its own courts, beginning from state high courts. Now, if you look at Osun State as an example, the state has its own state high court, but has the judicial divisions in some of the parts of the states. And that is done in order to get quick access to justice. So the intention of Muhammadu Buhari, we cannot just take it away like that. Because if you look at it, what that provision says is that whatever money that is meant for the judiciary should be taken from the consolidated account of the federation, and it has to be given through the NJC, and it will be disbursed to every, the court, the headship of every court. But what we see is that by the time that money comes with the allocation of the states, our courts are not well funded. Maybe that's why that executive order came from Muhammadu Buhari, our president, in order to ease all this stress that the judiciary workers undergo. That's why he empowers the Attorney General of the states just to deduct that money direct from the allocation that comes to the state and give it to the head of the judiciary. But that was not go well with the governors. They challenged the case in the courts, As the Supreme Court is the one that has the jurisdiction to try that kind of a case when it is between the states and the federal. And we all saw that the Supreme Court, they took the side of the law according to the provision, and they said, you are the president, they have their own state. There's autonomy. You cannot leave your own house and dabble into what is going on in another person's house. I think that was the summary of the judgment. That you take care of the federal courts. I mean, the Supreme Court have listed them, the appeal courts, and some other courts, and let the state take care of the courts among them. We have local courts too. Now we talk of all these district customary courts and some other courts. They too comes on that local. But we know that the local government does not have autonomy in our constitution as we speak now. So everything they do, they are being controlled by the state government.
But so, I would like you say something about autonomy, which is where I want us to pick it from. You know, sometimes last year, we know that judicial workers went on strike for several months while they were agitating for judicial autonomy. And then the autonomy they were actually talking about there was financial autonomy. They want the states to be the judicial arm of the government to be financially autonomous. Now, with this judgment now, are we saying that the agitation then was not actually well thought?
When we talk of judicial autonomy, it goes with the independence of the judiciary. You know, the intention of the drafter of that law is for the people in the judiciary to be independent. There's a saying that says, who pays the piper dictates the tune. By the time it's the state government that is funding them. If the state government has a case in the state courts or state high courts, rather, or some other courts that are under the state, you all know that by the time you know that I have a favor that I want to get from this man, I'm going to do the bidding of that person. So what the law is trying to say is that the judiciary must be independent. And that was why Muhammadu Buhari embarked on that journey of executive of that term. But law is law. There's no how you have a good intention. If it doesn't go with the provision of the law will take its course. And that was what happened. That was what Buhari was trying to say. But those workers that are saying they wanted their autonomy, those are the judiciary workers. The difference between judiciary workers and the lawyers and the judges. There are some people that are working as judiciary workers. It's not necessarily that most of them are lawyers. But whatever what they are fighting for, at the end of the day, is going to affect the judiciary. For example, recently, our governor in the states did a swearing to some of 5 or 10 judges in Osun State here. Before somebody can be appointed as a judge, there are there are things that are attached to that position. They need the official car. They must get offices for them. But how many of our judiciary, maybe magistrates or judges, are having all these things? But if their money is coming directly, that's what people are trying to agitate for. If their money is coming directly, they know they don't have anything to gain from the governor or from anybody. They will close their eyes and do what is expected. But when you know that if you needed an official car, you have to write. It is somebody that will approve it, and that person has a case on your table. You know, there will be a kind of conflict of interest.
But I want to say this, you know, sometimes we are not lawyers, that we are not judicial workers, we always say that we find ourselves between the legality and the morality. The legality here is that President Muhammadu Buhari was wrong, as said by the Supreme Court.
Yes, which is the first court.
The morality is what you have been saying now, that the second favor, you know, going to the executive every month to seek favor, financial favor here and there, is actually affecting the delivery of judgment. So now, I want us to make sense out of this. What do you think will be the way forward? Where are we? Are we not saying that the legal is affecting the moral?
Honestly, it's a sorry case, because as we all know, Supreme Court is the apex court. There is no courts that can challenge their decision. They are the only one that can challenge themselves. No other courts. But since they have ruled, there is nothing we can do. And when you talk of morality and law, it's like heaven and earth. Something must be morally wrong, but may be legally right. And that's what we saw now.
But what of the agitation of the workers?
The agitation of the worker, every worker we want what we improve their way of life. So what they are trying to say is that if their money is coming directly, they may place them on a special salary scale, like some other people. They will not be taking money like other state workers. But unfortunately, the governors, they come together and they challenge it. And that's the beauty of democracy.
But do you think these workers will not actually embark on another strike?
They can't embark on another strike because the law is there.
No, this happens to be the basis of their strike then. But
the law is there. By the time two people are, fighting, and they drag themselves to court, and the court has ruled.
Maybe we say that they were ignorance of that provision before they went on strike. Barrister Omolade, we'll go on a very short break now. Okay. But when we are back, I know you are as a very strong member of the People's Democratic Party. We'll have to delve into what is happening in your party, and then as a lawyer, there was a matter that was actually released recently, and that's had to do with Senator Ademola Adeleke. The issue of the names, and then having in mind what happened in Bayelsa. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back in a few minutes.
I was built to be the best.
Day by day, governance is becoming more meaningful in Osun as dividends of democracy are delivered to the people's doorsteps. Governor Isiaka Adegboyega Oyetola has continued to put smiles on the faces of old and young. Active civil servants now receive new minimum wage, while pensioners also smile to bank at end of every month. Artisans and market women now praise the governor. Osun is now witnessing a holistic development in education, healthcare, economy, agriculture, and tourism. Osun is now the choice location for businesses for both local and international investors. The state under Oyetola is giving priorities to people's needs, despite the paucity of funds, as projects are commissioned at intervals. Boyega is working, Osun is progressing.
Yeah, I come back from that very short break. My guest is here, Barrister Chief Matthew Omolade. Is a lawyer, a lecturer, and a member of the People's Democratic Party in Osun State. Thank you so much, Chief, for joining us.
Thank you.
Let's now talk about what is happening in your party. We have several names that was actually flew some weeks back. That all these names belong to Senator Ademola Adeleke. You, as a lawyer, are considering what happened in Bayelsa. You think your party will stand a very good chance if eventually he emerges as a party as flag bearer at March 7th primaries?
Well, Jare, that reminds me of what we just discussed before. There is no law that prevents anybody from having several names, because there is a way of correcting those things. You can bear several names, but the only thing is that by the time you want to use any of them, and it's not part of the names you have been using before or that you are known for, you go and swear into affidavits. Affidavits, as very simple as it is a very strong document. Some can go for deed pool. So that corrects that one. Everybody knows the background of Senator Nurudeen Jackson Adeleke. The mother is from Igbo land, Akwete. That's where the mother is. And we all know that when you give birth to a child, the mother is from Igbo land, the father is from Osun State here, Ede precisely. So he had several names. He was given Ifeanyi. You have not even mentioned that one.
Yes, because that has not been part of the official one that's flying.
There are a lot of names. Even the way you are seated, you have nicknames and you have other names. That doesn't change you as a person. The kind of, let me just explain this one so that this is an opportunity for people to know. So the mother is from that place. So the mother gives Ifeanyi and is part of his name. When he traveled to, the father gave him Nurudeen. The father's name is Adeleke. So when he got to US, was known as Jackson, and so on and so forth. Like I said, there's a legal remedy to that kind of a thing. That of Bayelsa that a lot of people are comparing, when you have two cases, they don't have similar facts. We lawyer knows that.
No, but we are talking about the names here.
Yes.
That is why we believe that they have the same thing.
No, that's not. It's a different thing.
Okay.
There's difference between spelling in your name to you bear several names.
No, that man also has some names that there is not only spelling errors.
No,
we still have
is.
some other ones that they have several names.
It is. That's the facts of the case in Bayelsa that they are talking about. It has spellings on his name. Like for example, now, if I introduce myself as MK, ordinarily it's supposed to be initial and the surname MK Omolade. If I say Omolade MK, in law it's not the same. That is wrong in spelling. No. But if you call me, you have called me several names now.
But in school, that is how it is.
If it is in school,
in academics.
If it is in school, yes, that's in academics, and that's the standard yes, all over the world. You get what I'm trying to say? Yes. If you are doubting my name or you are doubting anything about me, you go to the issuance authority. It's a simple thing. It doesn't make any noise.
But some people will say that this kind of thing has not been tested in court. What if this happens to be the experimental?
No, it has been tested severally.
Okay.
It has been tested severally. That of Bayelsa is quite different from that of Senator Nurudeen Adeleke. In Bayelsa, if you look at it very well, there were wrong spellings on those names. One came and one behind. And if you look at all his credentials, everything was very, very right. But if anybody is now doubting...
Okay, you mean Senator Ademola?
Yes.
But those documents that we saw different combination of names.
You may see,
yes,
you may see
the different combination. Right?
Yes, that's the most important thing.
We have different combination of names.
And that's what I'm now saying, that everything has a legal remedy, which he has done. The one you are saying has to do with the money he paid, to the Osun State tax office here.
Okay.
So the
that
name
one has just
and it has been rectified.
So can we say that if you just say documents now, and then we have one that is saying Ademola Nurudeen Adeleke. We have one that is saying Ademola Jackson Adeleke.
Yes.
Do you think ordinarily many people will not suspect some foul play?
No, you can't suspect foul play. That's what I'm saying now. It is you that owns those names that can debunk it. This name is not mine. It's not for somebody from somewhere to be saying you are not the one bearing the name.
But some people are,
and that is the purpose of affidavits.
So, but some people are still saying that in 2017, when he was contesting, 2017, when he was contesting for Senate, it was Ademola Nurudeen Adeleke.
Yes.
In 2018, Ademola Nurudeen Adeleke. But now, with all the official document that we've seen, we've seen the addition of Jackson. Many people are now asking that where was Jackson in 2018?
That is just it. What they are trying to say is that after the 2018 election, he traveled out for further studies. When some people were starting saying all sorts of things, the man went abroad to go and add value to himself. But this thing, the kind of way we study here in Nigeria is quite different from the way they do over there. You can defy your admission. You and I know for several years, and that was happened. He has started that one before he came to come and contest. After the contest, he went back to school to go and continue with what he has started with. He never knew he was going to contest as at that time when he started that program, before he came to Nigeria. And Jackson was part of the name since he was the school in that place.
So,
you get what I'm trying to say now?
Was part of the
It
name.
was part of the name that he used that he started with before he came to come and contest.
We have Jackson on the certificate of Metropolitan.
That is what we are saying.
But we did not have it. Do we have it in SSA?
That's what we are saying. I told you now that before he traveled, that when he got to United States of America, he was known by his friends as Jackson.
Okay.
And there's nothing wrong legally about that. But he started that program before he came to Nigeria, before he contested. After the contest, he went back to go and the way they studied there is quite from this place. Let me explain that so that people will get what I'm trying to say. Because in some quota they say, can you use 2 years for this? It's not 2 years, it's a complete year. You can defer your admission. Over there, they study, they work.
When did you get the
admission? Don't do that.
When did you get the admission?
That's, that's not part of what I cannot say.
No, because you are the one clarifying the matter now.
Yeah,
and many people will say that you must have the facts. And that's why I'm putting it to you. When did he get the admission?
The admission, the one that he just completed.
The one that just completed, yes. You said he got it before he even joined politics.
No, I did not say he got it before. He got the admission and he has started schooling.
Before he came
to Nigeria.
In 2018.
2018.
And that's what I'm saying.
And after everything happened the way it happened, he went back to go and complete it.
How many years course?
That is irrelevant.
No. When we say that
is irrelevant. The time he got the admission is not.
That is the question people are asking.
No.
When you want to correct people that
Jare,
it's not
let's
2 years,
face the reality.
you must be able to tell them that is the number of years.
That one is sentiment. They are just trying to be sentimental. Those people that are saying that one. Nigeria now, as we are now, if you want people to be seeing us here, there are ways to do that. If anybody has a contrary view concerning his educational stand, they should write to the school. They should go and verify. We don't need to, this time around, it was then that we can be arguing on what is not. There's nothing you want to know now that you cannot know. So they can write to that school and confirm whether it's genuine or not. But what I'm saying is that there is nothing wrong legally in somebody bearing different names. There's nothing wrong. The only thing is when there is a wrong spelling of names. So Chief, that's what we are saying.
Finally, Chief Omolade, some of your members, the members of the PGP, are saying that they don't want him because they fear some legal implications after the election. What do you have to tell them? Can you just
That's what I'm trying to say. That there's an adage in Yoruba that says, "Ento fe jogun kogun, itakitan nlo ma pa." Like I said, Supreme Court is the apex court in Nigeria. And when he came to contest 2018, we all saw what happened. He was dragged to court, up to Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court said, this man is fit to contest. That was the provision.
Maybe before then, there was, I would like you to say, I'm saying this because maybe before then, the issue of names were not actually in contest then. But now that we have names, then it was certificate scandal. Yes. But now what we have now is names and names. So I would like you to just tell your members.
That's what I'm saying now.
What should they be doing?
That's what I'm.
They just believe that there would not be any backfire.
Let me tell you something. When they went for screening, that's where we should know that there's nothing on this. The man that chairman the screening committee was a son, with other dignitaries that were there. He looked at those ones and people wrote petitions against the candidates that went for the screening. They look at it critically and he knows the implication. The way lawyers will see things is not the way a layman will see it. I've told you the legal implication of it now, that there's nothing legally wrong for somebody to have several names. You understand? And if you want to use those names and people are saying, we don't know you with this name, there is a legal remedy for it. You can just go and do the deed pool or you go for affidavit. And that settles everything. So if anybody is saying what they are saying now, they cannot know better than the screening committee that was put on ground that screened every one of them. Do you think PDP at the top, we want to lose their chance? So anybody that is saying what they are saying, they don't know what they are saying. The Constitution says to contest for a president or a governor, you need a school cert or its equivalent. So what are we talking about? Even considering all these results that they are talking about, or names or whatever, the Supreme Court said this man is qualified. If anybody is saying another thing, they should look at those people as uneducated. They are just educated illiterates. The Supreme Court has ruled. You are saying another thing. Which court do you want to go? Anybody that want to challenge him now, tell me the court they will go. When Supreme Court has said this man is fit and proper to contest for the position of a governor, and we all saw it. There are pretorial authorities. So if anybody is saying they will remove him, you see that they are just looking for a way of creating fear so that they will have a way in what is coming. Which court will now sit on what the Supreme Court has decided? They should be ready to go to feed.
But Omolade, you said something there that because of our time, but you said the screening committee actually saw it, and nobody can say more than them. But we knew that the Supreme Court saw more than what the screening committee of Bayelsa saw. So that is, I'm saying that the Supreme Court saw more than what the screening committee that screened Erujako and others, and David Lyon saw them. But you know, that happens to APC. We'll see. Maybe you've learned from what happened there. But then, Basta, we would like to thank you for this time. And then we believe that as time goes on, we'll continue to have conversation because, you know, what we are discussing now is legal implication. Yes. We will have to talk about what your party and then, you know, some of the people, your candidates, will have for the people of Osun when the time comes. And on that note, I want to say thank you for being part of it. Join me on the other side. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Omolade said that what we have, legal will always overcome moral. What is moral may not be legal. And then, you know, that executive order remains somehow unconstitutional as pronounced by the Supreme Court. And then President Muhammadu Buhari has actually overstepped his boundary according to the pronouncement of the Supreme Court. Then we also talk about the Osun politics, the PDP and Senator Nurudeen Jackson Ademola Adeleke. And that is how the name goes now. And he's saying that the arrangement and every other thing does not have any legal implication. It was actually telling us that what happened in Bayelsa will not happen in Osun, because what happened then, according to him, was error in spelling. But what we have now is just the addition of names. That is what how I can summarize what he said. But my advice is for you out there, please ensure that you have your PVC so that you can elect a candidate of your choice. Please go there, register, and then collect the PVC so that by July 16, you can be among those that will be electing who will be our leader. And that is how far we can go in today's edition. Thank you for being part of it. My name is Jare Tiamiyu. See you for some other time. Bye for now.